In a game historically about map control and positioning, making aggressive plays and chasing down your opponents is typically too risky to produce rewards. In Halo 5, however, that's a different story. Skillful use of this game's movement abilities make aggressive plays not only more possible, but in many ways, the true key to success at a high level. But that doesn't mean you can just fly at anything and everything. You need to carefully manipulate the timing of your aggression based on high-level prediction and knowledge of the scenario at hand. Not only that, but the faster you move, the more precise your execution needs to be. The greater the room for error and the greater the punishment. If you want to truly master aggressive gameplay, you'll need to push your limits as a player and learn to execute with confidence and with creativity. Something I'll call intelligent aggression. And if you want to know who to watch to learn how to do this properly, I'd recommend Bound. Bound is the perfect example of a player still pushing the skill ceiling in this game, and he does that using intelligent aggression. And I'll explain what I mean. In today's video, we're going to look at 3 clips from Bound, all featuring 2v2 gameplay, which is a great playlist to show off high-level movement and aggressive plays. So let's not waste any more time. Let's check out the first clip.
Yeah, he's on me, he's on me.
I'm in Jeff right now.
Watch out, Luke. Dead. Maybe. Yeah, the she, look at this spawn blue, look at this spawn blue.
Yeah, and blue right now. Blue door.
Got one.
Blue door to yard.
Get over, get over.
Yard.
Get up combo. He's in flower door. He's right here trying to injure me. Got him. Alright, get the combo, get the combo. He's going for combo from yard. He's on it right now, he's going top forward. Dropped in the yard, Skip's gonna be trim. Trying to get to you, hold on.
Yeah. Fuck. Mikey has combo still pushing out.
One shot.
Nade.
One shot. Oh. I guess probably like top div. We're down 3.
First, let's get you up to speed. Of course, this is 2s on Plaza. You'll notice there's no radar in the corner as well. He's got a teammate up on top mid. The timer is at 8 minutes, so the OS is about to come up. His teammate's waiting on it, and both enemy players are currently down on respawn. So something you'll notice Bound is doing is he's flashing his scoreboard up on his screen so he can see these red X's. As long as he sees these X's, he knows the enemy is still on respawn, and once they disappear, they have spawned up. So this helps him better time his rotation and ensure that they spawn where he wants them to. Based on his position and his teammate's position, the most likely spawn, the farthest spawn point, is over in Cafe. He's expecting a Cafe spawn. So in a second, he's going to make a rotation through Light Hall. He does this by jumping, sprint, maintain forward here, thrust slide on contact with the floor, and then that lets him launch into yard. He'll pre-nade the yard door and then scoreboard spring jump immediately. One sec, let me explain this scoreboard spring jump. I'm personally not a big fan of this technique. It's a technique that allows you to hit your spring jump 100% of the time, and it's just kind of cheap. It's clearly an unintended mechanic with the scoreboard. It takes away from the difficulty associated with hitting a normal spring jump, but regardless, it's part of the game. It's not completely free to hit, and Bound uses it pretty well, so let's talk about how it works. Of course, the scoreboard has a feature in this game where if you're holding an input down before you hold the scoreboard, so right now I'm holding crouch and then I hold scoreboard, if I release that input while I'm holding crouch or while I'm holding scoreboard, it stays in place. It holds that input in place. So even though I'm not crouching, because I'm holding the scoreboard, that crouch input is still being held in place. And then if I release scoreboard, frame perfectly releases that input. So by that notion, if I jump and hold jump and crouch, and then hold the scoreboard down, and then release crouch, but keep jump held down, once I release the scoreboard, it's going to frame perfectly release crouch and then jump. Just like that. You hit a spring jump every single time. Now, Bound, I asked him in his Twitch chat, he has a specific technique. He plays semi-claw, so sometimes he claws his finger over, but when he spring jumps, he uses his index finger to claw over to the scoreboard and then release it to hit the jump. So depending on the size of your hands, it might be a bit of an awkward reach, but this is one way that you can do it. You can claw over with your index finger to hit the scoreboard spring jump. Now you know. Let's get back into the action. That gets him right up to top yellow so he can make this challenge. And this snipe is beautiful. He takes his face off with it. And of course, there's a lot of power behind that flick. He even hesitates. You'll notice he flicks away first and then flicks back and still hits him with this nice, confident headshot. And I'd say a big part of your success in this headshot is making sure you scope in as close to the body as you can. Even though he flicks away and hesitates, he still brings that scope back and then scopes in very close to the body. So the correction he has to make to hit the headshot is not very very far. You can hit that confidently. And thankfully, Soul Snipe choked his shot. He missed his Magnum shot as well, so didn't get D-scope for it. Something you'll notice Bound does right when he hits this shot is he's falling forward as well. He heard a call out on top of having a prediction that the other player is pushing through cafe, through to yard, and could take him out with a nade or apply pressure from behind. So I believe him falling is to avoid that preemptively, or I guess he could have hid up on the top corner of top yellow if he didn't want to fall. Either way, he falls forward to avoid that, clambers back up, and then this little adjustment is huge. These are minor things that these players do to ensure that they make certain jumps. Like this right here, this little jump, it's such a tiny little nuance, but it's so important. If you crouch jump up here, from this position up to here, there's a good chance he's not going to reach this clamber ledge. Something about it is ambiguous. It's just higher than you think it is. So what he does is he makes a quick adjustment with a thrust to the right to clamber the lower portion of it, so he ensures he climbs up on this ledge. This is like a little nuance that only people who play this a lot, who've been in this scenario a lot, will know to make that adjustment. So really smart. And next, he spots Skeptify in yard, but whiffs the no-scope, takes a shot, but watch the immediate aggressive play. He's going to go for a sprint slide off of top yellow, which gives him extra momentum into the challenge and a nice wide-angle challenge for the chase. So smart attempt, but Skeptify will round the corner. This is intelligent aggression once again. He doesn't chase. He knows not to chase around this corner. It is so risky to chase around this corner, especially with the flowers ledge in the other room. So watch, instead, he's going for a wide-angle chase to the right side of the doorway. This is perfect. He gets information on what Skeptify is doing. He sees Skeptify jump forward. He knows he's looking for a back smack, some sort of play here. So Bound is tossing a pre-nade and then jumps early at the same time, which you would think, this early jump, does he need to do this? Is this going to force him to burn a resource? Is it a good idea? Shouldn't he just be strafing and holding his ground? But it's actually pretty smart. The timing of this jump is perfect. Skeptify in this situation up above has very limited information. He can't see a lot. He can't really tell exactly where Bound is. So by timing this early jump, he actually won't see the origin of this jump, or it would be hard for him to see the origin of that jump. So if he goes for an early jump thrust left, look at how much extra time he gets. He basically gets a huge reactionary advantage over Skeptify, because Skeptify is walking around this corner expecting Bound to still be standing here waiting for him. So that timing on the jump thrust, burning it early in this situation, was perfect. It gave him a reactionary advantage to land like 2 or 3 shots before Skeptify landed his first shot. So huge in that fight. Of course, he was already weak. Skeptify needed to hit 2, and we get a beatdown trade. So still, great play here. He's got his teammate with OS now pushing into yard. He's going to end up spawning over behind the garbage truck. Now, from this spawn, there are many ways to get to yard and help your teammate, but I think the best one would be to go for a flank from an unpredictable angle, and that's why this play is so great. He's thrust sliding across bottom mid, pre-nade into top yellow, because why not? You never know. His objective is to get to driveway, but the way he gets to yard is so smart. Instead of taking this light, which is where people would normally go, this is the more predictable route, I'd say, or you could jump off of this car and then jump up, which would be slower. He's going for a fast and unpredictable route. He takes a spring jump immediately up into yard from a slightly less predictable challenge angle, which is great when he comes in here hot with the aggression. He does a early jump. Once again, would you think early jump, this is risky, you're going to be forced to burn your thrust, but Bound knows that. His intention is to burn an early thrust forward, close the distance, get a 3-shot beatdown, and finish off that opponent as fast as possible. So that's the thing. If you know that player is going to be in that thrust range, you can go for that early jump and that early thrust. The timing of the thrust is so perfect. It's so early that it's hard for him to fully react to what's happening. By the time his shields are, 3 shots down, the player's already wiped off the map. He can't really counter that. And he barely loses much of his shields in the process, right? He's half shields, and he has enough health to continue to be aggressive and apply pressure. He's going to sprint, jump, shoot, thrust, shoot to dodge the combo. So great timing on the thrust here. Still keeping up the pressure. He knows this player is weak, and he's on the defense. And watch how he pressures him. He just walks forward, hugs the wall, and gets right underneath him on a vertical directly underneath him, which this ends up being perfect. Notice how Soul Snipe here is trying to melee, but he's not getting a lunge. It is so hard to lunge down in this game. You can lunge up, you can lunge forward, left, right, but lunging down is so difficult. I don't know if it's because you've got the whole lower torso and the legs of the player that are kind of blocking, or the fact that this is perfect. There's a flower ledge that's in the way that blocks the lunge as well. it's difficult to lunge vertically down. And Bound takes full advantage of this by walking right up to him, just punching him from below and taking him out. So really smart, aggressive play, roof bounce, scoreboard sprint jump. He's back on top yellow.
Yeah. Fuck. My team has combo still pushing out. No,
Watch out.
that nade
Watch
happened.
out.
All right, sick play. Let's see what else we got.
Yo, camo. I'm ready, Eli.
Yeah, camo.
Camo. You be above you, core 2. Watch out, hold on. Camo, get a camo. He should be your blue, Eli. Ready, Eli.
No, ready Eli. Burn.
No, you didn't. I got you. That guy should be like top mid. Okay.
On mid, actually.
Alright. But he's literally just sitting down there. I think he's just sitting down there. Yep. I got him.
Yo, I died with camo, but I'm like 3 shots out. Not car 1. Nice.
On me? Oh, it's you.
All right, quick setup once again. Both Bound and his teammate are currently down on respawn. You can see the timer is 7:54. Camo's about to come up. Bound's going to end up spawning up in bottom red base and expecting a player in P2. He's going to sprint slide pre-nade P2. Turns out this player is P3, so he's going to be slightly late for this gunfight, but makes up for it with these beautiful shots. A nice movement as well. You'll notice he strafes left and right and then jumps into the corner, roof bouncing himself down and then thrusting left, finishing him off with that final shot. Really nice use of his shot out of thrust, too. Watch how fast he shoots out of thrust. You can shoot so quickly out of thrust. And, of course, in certain situations, you might want to pace yourself and wait and make sure you confirm that final shot. But if you have that confirmation, if you see him thrust and you know you can hit that headshot, you can shoot very early out of that thrust animation. It's important to be used to that timing if you want to get those nice, quick kills. Now, of course, he's one shot here, moves over to the door. He ends up spotting Skeptify up in top car. His reaction is to jump, roof bounce himself. This makes his head impossible to shoot for a split second, which is nice when he gets his shields back. Turns out the player doesn't see him anyway, fires some nice shots in, manages to break the shields, and watch immediately sprint, thrust, slide, dive at this guy. You know that when you get that slay, there's an 8-second respawn timer before his teammate spawns up. This player is alone here. If he has that advantage state, if he popped those shields and he knows he has an opportunity to get the kill, especially with 2 shots left on his shields here, you have to press that advantage. You've got to thrust slide in, be aggressive, and finish off that kill. So great work there. Of course, in this situation, he's predicting the spawn of the next player, right? So you get the kill. Where's the next player going to spawn? He's bottom car. His teammate is bottom pink. So it could be either blue or red base. They're kind of equal distance from both sides. Bound is predicting blue. I believe he ends up hearing a thrust or something over to right, and then now he knows that the spawn is over on right pink side. So he's going to push up. Thrust slide once again. His thrust slide got messed up for some reason. Sometimes, depending on the floor, the object on the floor, the thrust slide kind of screws up. So he doesn't slide, but he ends up carrying his momentum by jumping off the floor immediately. So always remember to do that to carry momentum forward. Missing some shots here, and that's okay in this situation because Soul Snipe is focused on P1 on his teammate anyway. So he has the element of surprise here, and he's up so many shots, he's probably going to win this fight regardless of whether or not he misses a couple. So just stay confident in these situations. Pace yourself. Try to limit your right stick movements. You'll notice he's not using a lot of right stick here. Just nice quick jolts to the left and the right. No need to enter the vertical. The last thing you want to do is like a scooping motion into the vertical on your control stick. That's how you end up windmilling yourself. So you want to try to limit those right stick movements to nice quick little jolts. Use your left stick to kind of help position the reticle in those moments. Of course, while he gets that kill, he's predicting spawns already as well. Of course, you got a player probably spawning in blue car bubble while that fight is happening. So he's predicted that player's already pushed up to top mid by the time he gets the kill. Turns out the player's over on bottom mid instead. So his teammate with camo pushes through bottom mid. This is a great complementary lane switch that he makes here. He's going to go up top to help out his teammate and get a nice angle here. Sprint, jump, thrust to fly forward. He can fire shots in. Hesitates a little bit, but doesn't matter. He'll still get that kill. Predicting spawns. Once again, still blue car bubble, I'd say, is the most likely spawn. It's the farthest away from where these players are. Turns out there he is. Blue side car. Fires a shot in. I love this play here. He'll push up. Tosses a nade. Solid nade. This will bounce diagonal up over to car. Either car 1, car 2 area. It'll force Soul Snipe to probably push up or push into car 1 or car 2. But at the same time, he was reloading when he tossed that nade, and it turns out he tossed the nade slightly too early and canceled his reload. So now he's stuck with 3 bullets left in the chamber and no good opportunity to reload again. So I love the creativity here. He goes for a spring jump off the wall for a slightly higher challenge angle onto Soul Snipe and surprises him. This is a perfect way to use a spring jump, like a perfect creative way to surprise your opponent and be aggressive. It's just so nice, because all he needs to do here is just fire a couple shots, get the melee to finish him off. He just comes in full aggro, only 3 shots left. He knows this player is already 1 shot in, so as long as he hits 2 out of those 3 bullets, he can finish him off with a melee. So just some simple little things you can do just to enter that battle at a slightly higher elevation level, just to surprise your opponent and get that kill. It's such a smart, creative use of the mechanic.
I got him.
Yo, I died with camo, but Mike is 3 shots out. Not car 1.
All right, last clip. Let's check it out.
Like 30, 29-ish.
Yo,
my glass.
Manny's gonna spawn on the nest.
My glass.
Okay. I can't. Yo, watch that nest. If you can look at benches,
I am. I think I got loot. Yeah, Manny's still there.
Live.
2 shots.
I'm getting OV. Your combo's down loop.
I know, I'm gonna get it.
I got OV. I got OV. 5. That's 4, Manny. Watch out. Got 1. S4 still, yeah.
Is on me benches?
I can't see, hold on.
Should be able to get away. It's like LR.
Hey, live, hold on. That's me, LR,
That's far. Still yard, I'm gonna die. I'm shield yard. Yes, combo yard, LR tunnel. He went yard VR. Oh, he's still sitting on the left. He hasn't get jumped off both of his trying to combo yard.
I think it's probably gonna be below. Step. Get it.
At the start of this clip, you'll notice Bound is on dip. His teammate Tusk is currently over at Light Rifle. He's about to be in a battle with Soul Snipe, while Manny is currently on respawn. The timer right now is 5:47, so there's a late OS coming up soon as well. In the meantime, Bound is going to look at the scoreboard, and by doing that, he can see the red X. He can see that Manny still hasn't spawned. That's going to disappear and show that in that moment, Manny is spawned. So Bound makes the smart prediction that based on his location in blue and his teammate's location somewhere over Light Rifle top yellow, the most likely spawn is probably bottom lift. This is the farthest, most available spawn point, and he makes the right prediction here. He'll look over at Ness, manages to land a sick body shot quickscope into Manny, which gives him timing to fly over to top mid here, and he just barely, terrible quality, but he just barely manages to see Soul Snipe over in loop. He had a call out over to glass that kind of helped as well, so he'll look over. Perfect head level placement. I don't even know if he expected it to be so perfect, and I think he sort of hesitated because of it, but he still just barely manages to get that headshot. He'll head level placement, line that up once again with the scope on top mid here as he waits for OS. This is my favorite part of the clip, though. This is such beautiful recognition right here. So as he grabs OS, he'll sprint forward. Think about this situation right now. He knows Manny's somewhere on nest. He could be S4, he could be coming up through posters, whatever. He's got his teammate Tusk behind him, blocking Light Rifle, top yellow, like blocking that area. The most likely spawn point for Soul Snipe, who's about to come up, is going to be over in Cafe to his right. So he makes this beautiful heads-up play where he sprint thrust slides, predicts that Manny's going for the jump up to S4, and he's right. So he lands shots into Manny while throwing his body over into this back area of dip here, where it's so difficult for Soul Snipe to get shots on him. Like, he predicted that Soul Snipe would come through and try to fire shots or try to get a backsmack, but as he hugs this wall, there's nothing Soul Snipe can do to backsmack this guy. Honestly, Soul Snipe does the best he can with what he has, which he gets 2 beatdowns. 1, 2, which honestly, that's the best that he can do in that situation, but he completely limits his options, and he forces Soul Snipe to look at him. This is a huge opportunity he gives his teammate Tusk as well. By shooting the shields off of Manny and taking full focus of Soul Snipe, Tusk should be playing aggressive here, and he doesn't. I feel like Tusk should be on top mid already. He should be flying up and pinching this guy, maybe force him over to posters, and they can pinch and collapse. It doesn't happen, but Bound made a massive play. He opened up the map here just by thrust sliding himself into that corner. He'll throw the nade up. Now he can go regroup with his teammate, which is smart here. He kind of misses this jump, or maybe he changes his mind. Either way, it's very hard to crouch jump from that position and reach it. It's just slightly too high. You can throw in a stabilize and grab it. That might make some noise, though. Either way, he notices that he doesn't continue to pressure. He backs off, so he can jump over to glass here. Whenever you're in this spot and you notice, somebody's on nest, but they're not challenging posters, always think about this angle. This jump up is such a popular location to get up to S4. You just always want to be ready for that, and he's ready for it. He'll land the nice headshot to get the kill there. His teammate dies. He knows there's one in yard. This is a beautiful shot for the body here. He'll stabilize up for an awkward challenge angle, give him a little bit of time to kind of land that shot, manages to hit the body, flies over, and he's going to try to finish off this kill with aggression. Not many people take advantage of this area of the map, also because in 4v4 you just don't see too many battles happening in this specific location, but Bound is just, he uses it so perfectly. He'll dodge the combo by jumping into this cubby. There's a cubby in the wall here that can protect you for a split second, and then thrust out, finishes him off with a couple shots. Just beautiful recognition, awareness of the map around him, and just massive aggressive plays throughout. So sick.
So yard, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna shield yard. Yes, combo yard, Eller tunnel. He went yard yard. Oh, he's still sitting on the left. He hasn't get jumped off both of his trying to combo yard.
And that's all I got for today. Some good examples of intelligent aggression displayed at a high level in Halo 5 Guardians. Hopefully, some of that was helpful for you guys and you can apply it to your gameplay if you're still playing Halo 5. I'm still playing Halo 5. I'm not really sure what everybody else is doing now. I know it's 2020 and there's a bunch of different options for Halo, and just in general, it's kind of a weird time for Halo. So let me know what you guys are up to, what you're playing, if this stuff was helpful for you. If you want to see more, if you have other recommendations on content you want me to make, feel free to let me know in the comments. If you guys like Bound's gameplay and you want to watch more Bound gameplay, I've linked his Twitch in the description below, so you can feel free to check him out as well. And if you want more videos from me, make sure to first hit subscribe right above and check out some related content right beside me on my right. You can click some of those videos and watch some more Halo breakdowns. I'll see you guys soon. Have a good night.